Could have did that without a timer.
This is a response to you.
Everybody else did it.
The way I think is the way I think. As long as I'm logical.
I am what I am.
We live.
We back, y'all.
We back. Hey, what's good, people? How y'all doing?
Hello.
All right. Starting with Dave. We got Dave. We got Michelle.
Hey.
Hello.
I'm gonna cut this out. But what's your name again?
Yvette.
Yvette.
It's okay, Yvette.
Yvette.
It's not that it was told to me. I'm just old and I forget shit.
You could have sent him the
okay,
dang text with her name on. He could just looked at his phone.
See, if the names were on there, you could see it and say it. You wouldn't have to guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all right.
Switch our names.
Y'all right.
How do you put the names on there?
Just send him a
You just have
text
to
on
switch
your
your
phone.
name, your username. Because
Yeah.
it only says, it sees like mine says out by night because it's just a username. You would have to change your username.
Yeah. It's all good though.
Yeah, so, but we're not.
I won't forget again.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I think I'm going to be around for a bit, but.
I won't forget again. All right, so
I'm gonna forget names. I
Last-
don't remember half the time.
It's okay.
last but not least, we got my boy Phil holding it down. What's up, peoples? How was your week?
Oh man, it was a decent week today. It's pouring down in Houston.
It's raining?
Yeah, it's raining.
Yeah, real good.
Mhm.
When's the last time you went outside?
He's not in Houston.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm in El Paso, you know,
Even worse.
hanging out with my people, you know. My
With her people.
My familia.
With my people.
Your people,
That's
yep.
the wrong side of the world.
Where are your people
It's really
from?
far and really hot.
Where are your
Puerto
people
Rico.
from? Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico, yeah. It's a little bit wetter over there.
What part?
Rio Piedra.
I've
Rio
never-
Piedra. My last name, Rivera, from the river.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Never been. I kind of want to
By
go.
the water.
Never
Yeah,
been.
you should.
nice.
It's good. It's
Yeah, it's
small.
nice.
Like you could, if you drove straight through, you could probably make it in like 5 hours. And from one end of the island to the other.
Oh, that's
I
popular.
heard
Yes.
it's changed a lot since the hurricane.
Oh yeah, but I mean we're used to hurricanes. There've been hurricanes since before they were structures, so it's nothing. We just keep
No, I
rebuilding.
mean, yeah, I'm just saying. I meant demographically. I know a couple people from over there, and they were saying how much like our last topic we've touched on quite a bit of gentrification there happening as well since the hurricane.
A lot is changing with the whole tax structure thing. You know, the people are going out there to live for no reason, so they're taking up space when they shouldn't.
Oh, for real? I didn't even know that was.
Wait,
a thing.
why?
Yeah,
Yeah, because they don't pay
Because they
taxes,
made
and a lot of people are
yeah.
moving out there. Yeah, so
the governor
I
made
can't.
it. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. You probably know more than me at this point.
Hey,
I haven't been there in a while.
Mhm.
y'all want to get to the first topic?
Oh,
What's
yeah,
the
I
first
wanna know-
topic?
Yeah, what is the first topic?
I mean,
Enlightenment.
we're gonna go in reverse order since we have such a mixed crowd. The last submission was, and I quote, "Can you smash the homies, or for transparency, should they be called something else?"
I don't get it. Be more specific.
I didn't know that was
Smash them
going.
homies.
That's why.
That was just
That's
it just occurred
I'm
to
ready
me.
for this conversation.
yeah.
Be more specific.
Okay, so like even in my text, I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
Female homies, like as in home girls, as in FWBs, friends with benefits, and feel affirmed. So yeah.
yeah. So that's pretty much what I meant by that. So, but it goes both ways. So
Yeah.
if and what I meant by the transparency, you're in a group setting, and of course, we're adults, so we can have friends of the opposite sex. However, I think it's some people may feel a certain way about that. I know, you talk about the bro code. Hey, you don't deal with anything that I've dealt with in the past without expressly, you know, getting in touch with me about that, letting me know your intentions, because there may still be some feelings there, and we don't want to step on one another's toes. Or, if we have some understanding, like a lot of my guys had in the past. To each his own. If she chooses you, then that's what it is. We all grown. You don't have to, touch base with me or anything like that. But as far as the transparency goes, if we call them, for instance, I said, if she's a homie, then to me, that says that there's never been any intimacy on you two's behalf. It's always been, what's the word? Platonic. So, which would give me to go ahead. Hey, I don't have to, investigate. I don't have to assume anything of that nature. But if there was another word that lets you know, hey, yeah, there, and I don't know what that word might be besides I'm friends with benefits. That too much verbiage. Something, something a little more, a little less. I don't know. That's kind of
Obligation.
crude. No, I just think like the verbiage is kind of crude. Yeah, nobody's gonna say, yeah, that's my friend with benefits. You know what I'm saying?
So just
So
can you hear me?
Yeah, we
yeah,
got
we
you.
can hear you.
We got you.
So just to be clear, you're talking about a friend that you've dated before and being friends, or you're talking about someone else's friend, someone else's ex?
That's
I'm
what I
not
was
sure
gonna
what
No,
you're
ask.
saying, but
I
yeah,
think he
both of them.
I thought you was talking about just a chick that you was just always friends with, and
Well, that's what I'm
then
saying. The clarification there.
Mhm.
That's why I think there should be clarification in the I say titles that we assign.
Yeah, let's
Because
break
like I
down both
said,
of them
when I
then.
hear
Oh
homie,
man, here we go with titles.
I just
Yeah.
well, when
if
I and this is more of a insider type thing,
Are
right?
we are we anti-title?
No, it's an
what?
interesting topic. I
Nah,
want to hear what everybody says.
there's
No,
a logic to having titles.
no.
So
Some people
yeah.
don't like. They don't
Mhm.
want to put a name to things. They don't want to.
Right.
Well, that's
Mhm.
illogical. You got to have a title on something tangible, sometimes intangible,
Names
something that
names give
exists.
definition, and
Yeah.
I think
that's what we're trying to establish here without being intrusive. Hey man, have you
yeah.
have you knocked that down yet?
Yeah, I
Rather
think
than
it's
getting into
two different
Yeah.
scenarios, like
I,
smashing exes, and then say you got would come from a guy's perspective. Say we have a female friend, and one of us has smashed it. Then the other homie is like, "Hey, dog, you smashed her over there. Is it okay if I smash too?" Like, I think it's two different scenarios. One could be like an ex that say I'm dating this girl or whatever, then I break up with her and somebody else smash her, and another one could be like if you just my friend and we might
well,
be
we wouldn't
friends with
call a homie
benefits.
we wouldn't call a homie the ex though. I mean, does that
no,
sound
no,
What
yeah,
would
you wouldn't
what would
call
you
the
call?
you
ex the
wouldn't.
homie.
Oh, okay. So
No,
just a
it would
friend
just
that you've been smashing, and somebody else is like, hey, you
Well,
smashing
that's
that
the
over there too?
question. Would you call a friend that you've been
a
smashing
friend,
a homie? A
just a
homie.
friend.
I just call it a friend.
If y'all started off as friends and just
Yeah.
been friends, and y'all decide to smash,
Mhm.
it's just you just friends. You
Yeah.
still
I
friends.
don't
Yeah, I
think I
mean,
would.
You
in
never
a
made
label,
any
there's going to be
obligations.
security.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you don't
Sure.
have a label, then there's freedom, right? But when
Yeah,
you have a
yeah,
label, there's security. There's something there. There's that
right.
connection.
Like
So,
like for example, if you had a girlfriend, y'all became ex, and then y'all decide to still hook up every once in a while, then the title would be like, this is my ex. I'm hanging out with my ex. Everybody got the understanding that y'all probably still fucking whenever y'all want. But if
so in the whole room, you can't have it.
yeah, but if she just been your friend from day one, and then one day y'all decide to get horny with each other, the title should just still be friends. Like, hey, if you want to mess around, then that's fine. But if y'all decide to be girlfriend and boyfriend, you just change y'all dynamics. Now y'all either girlfriend, boyfriend, or now exes if y'all break up or whatever. I think that's how most people always looked at it. You know what I mean? That's just
Yeah,
how I see it.
I don't know who said it earlier, but if you still have feelings, then it's hard to, because if I didn't have feelings for that person, or it wasn't anything serious, then I would just be like, okay, this is my friend, and then regardless of whether we're doing something or not, if somebody else is
Yeah,
interested, then they can have him, and I just won't do anything with that person, but they're just a friend.
yeah,
But if there was a real connection there, then they're probably not gonna be in the same room with me where there's a possibility of where somebody else is gonna have that person.
yeah.
So
So
I
it
think it
would
just
be
depends on
it
that
would be
connection.
made known. This is on my property.
Yeah.
Well,
If I own property, then somebody's gonna know it's my property.
even friends with benefits, that term isn't like publicly stated by people. It's still private. You know, you could tell like somebody in private, yo, that's my friend with benefits right there. But you don't tell people in public, oh, this is my friend with benefits. You don't say that. You just say, this is
I
my
think
friend.
it's in how you behave too, because if you guys are coming together and you might not say it, but you're sitting together and you're doing things together and you have a little, little moments giggling or little inside jokes, people are going to be able to notice. So you don't really have to say much. And just by
Yeah.
you guys staying close, people will know. So you might not really have to say anything.
Yeah, unless I mean, of course, there's always those individuals who don't give a damn about none of that. Gonna
That's
see if
true.
she'll fly.
I don't.
Yeah, they don't care.
You don't,
But
Michelle?
you don't.
But you
Elaborate.
don't get what, Michelle?
I base my stuff on maturity, basically.
Mm.
Titles. I mean, okay, yeah, you got a husband, you have a friend, and you have an associate. But all in all, it's about maturity between both of the person, who you're dealing with. Who cares what everybody else thinks about, right? Because all those three things, y'all can have your own rules and still either sleep with somebody else, even if you're married, it doesn't matter. It depends on you all's relationship, your maturity level, and y'all can sit and talk about what y'all want to do. Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Freedom.
rules are important.
You talking about the glue that binds
Rules and
each
boundaries.
relationship.
Boundaries.
You said
You're-
It's
Yeah.
like don't touch.
You
You
said the
guys
glue
can
that
do your own
binds?
thing, but don't touch this
The
person.
glue that binds relationships. Any
Yeah,
kind of relationship.
about
Yeah.
the ultimate friendship of a person that you trust.
Yeah.
Bottom.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know from like person to person what that ultimate friendship looks like to you, regardless of what situation you're in right now. What's starting with you, Dre?
Oh. Who's Dre?
Oh no.
Oh,
that's
sorry. What's your name?
Which one?
David. Top.
Wait.
Which one?
Top corner left. What was your name
David.
again?
That's Dave.
David. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna call
Who's
him Dre now.
Yeah.
Bet not.
I'm so sorry.
I stuck my hand
It's
up
okay.
anyway.
Don't cut it out. Just leave that.
The first, to me, the number one thing is, of course, trust, loyalty. Those two things, then everything is just a cakewalk in any relationship.
Wait,
So,
what was the question? What was the actual
But
question?
I'm not talking about any relationship. I'm talking about the ideal situationship that, for example, Michelle's talking about, right? That you guys have some type of agreement.
across the
For
board,
you, what would work for you? What does that look like for you?
across the board, trust first, loyalty, and things in common. You want to have stuff in common, stuff to talk about, stuff to do together, stuff like that. You can challenge each other's minds. I like a good challenge. Better come with your facts though. If you don't have facts, I'm gonna have a problem. But
So you want a relationship? You want a girlfriend?
I was about to
because
say
that's
that sound
investment right there.
That sounds too good.
That's an investment. That's an investment.
You-
That means that
what do you
person
mean
can't
why
put
I
their
want a
mind to
girlfriend?
Y'all
somebody
gonna
else.
catch feelings, if y'all on that level.
Exactly. 'Cause
No.
you're investing
We
in
could
someone.
be.
You're talking about connection. If you're talking about connection, you're talking about investment. You're talking about trust, loyalty.
I ain't saying nothing about
Right
investment.
there, you cut it off because if you have loyalty, you won't be with anybody else unless it's specific to.
Wait, I don't know how you spit that to that perspective.
I mean, that's what I got too,
I
Dave.
just said across the board, trust, loyalty with any relationship I'm with my homies, with my family members, with my chick. Gotta have them two things first, and then of course, if you if you share the same interests, it's gonna bond y'all. Y'all gonna have a strong bond.
But that's okay because it's not an objective thing. It's a subjective thing right now. It's whoever, what the ideal relationship looks like for that person or situationship. So who's next?
I guess I'll go. It's been a long time since I've even had to think about something like this. I've been married 17 years, so that's why.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah.
Now me and you about right, so we about the same.
So I don't know,
ideally, yeah.
maybe like in another universe where I'm divorced or something, my ideal friends with benefit relationship would be I call her at 2:00 in the morning and she comes over and then she leaves. Period.
Wait. She know
That's
the
the epitome of friends with benefits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hang out. I
Okay.
hang out with my male homies. We'll watch football, go to races,
Mm-hmm.
and then every once in a while I might go to dinner with homegirl just so I can be around a female. You know what I mean?
To keep her happy, also.
That's it. Yeah.
Or if you need
Mhm.
I don't
you
want
going
that
into a date situation,
Yeah,
you might
yeah.
have to bring somebody.
to
That
like an
friends with
office
benefits.
dinner or
True.
something.
Yeah.
But other than that, no,
A
I
wedding
don't
or
want.
something.
I don't want nothing
Just
else.
ones.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the next question, because I was gonna ask, I should have asked it back to back, but like, have you ever been in that situation where you were the friends with benefits? I mean, obviously, if you guys were both friends with benefits together, and how did you feel when somebody made you feel like that friends with benefits and you didn't want to be friends with benefits?
You gotta accept it. You gotta accept what their rules are. It's just that simple.
You
You
talking
don't
about-
wanna. You don't wanna.
If you start catching feelings is when it's gonna be a problem. If you understand
Exactly.
whatever position you're supposed to be playing, then it won't be a problem. So
Won't be a problem.
if you establish that up front, hey, we just gonna be friends with benefits, and then they start catching feelings on either side, one person has to be able to see it that okay, this person is catching feelings, so let me reiterate the fact that we're just friends with benefits so it don't get out of hand. Because I've been in a situation like that before, and I've also been the friends with benefit person and started catching feelings like, oh wait a minute, I gotta take myself out of this situation so I don't fall for this person, knowing that all I am is the meat on the weekend. That's it.
Blasphemy.
As long as you keep reestablishing the boundaries, and I think a lot of people don't do that. I think some people go into situations where they automatically assume because we doing this, and this, even though we made an establishment up front what it is, they'll start thinking something differently. So if you see a person and you know they're doing that, as I got older, I started realizing you got to reiterate the fact that, hey, this is what it is. Don't, if you okay with that, every few months we might have to reestablish whatever our situation is just to make
You gotta
sure
talk about
nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
communication
Yeah,
part.
good point.
I would think that everybody would have to bring their B game when the benefits portion came up, because if you bring your A game, somebody catching feelings.
Yeah.
I
Right.
always
Yeah,
feel like
no, you're right.
What? I don't know. I think you should
It's
just
all
be
a-
yourself. How genuine you
about-
want to be. Go, Michelle.
It's all about who you're dealing with, intelligence wise. Because you on both sides of the spectrum, if someone's catching feelings or you are the one that's doing your A game in a sense, you should be able to continues to be honest about things, and like that would really cease the thing of if it's getting serious or not. Like Oscar was saying, like bring it up and and reminder. If you're being honest, it will really just lay itself out. Like I'm going out on a date tonight. If you tell the person, you know what I mean? It's like I'm going to go see someone tonight because you're already established. So if the person that you're dealing with is on your level of understanding that it's consistent and what we just talked about it at the beginning is nothing more, nothing less. Now the person is changing it and everything, they have a mental issue.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to that? Thing is, are you going to let this person go? Because that also should be established if things change.
What you
Yeah.
got, Yvette?
I think that if you're doing relationship stuff, you're gonna catch feelings. Like if you're doing one
True.
person is going to misunderstand what this is, because if you like like you said earlier, if you're just doing 2:00 in the morning call, late night call, and you just randomly need a date, there's an understanding right there. But if you guys are seeing each other, texting all day, and just kind of see each other when you can, whatever, but it's still that dynamic of a relationship and you're pretending that it's not so that you can have freedom and options, somebody's gonna catch feelings, regardless of what you call it. It's just what you're doing in that relationship. Because women, naturally, we're gonna just connect, right? Connect emotionally. So if women are being treated in a way that women should be treated, then they're gonna find that.
Yeah.
They're gonna find meaning in that, and they're gonna find something where you might not think there is anything.
That's
They
why I
gonna catch
say
feelings.
gotta
They
bring
So-
gonna catch feelings.
gotta bring that B game. You bring the A game in any
Right.
situation. You take
Well,
her on a
the point-
date.
Right.
Yeah, you take her on a date.
Yeah,
I
'cause-
look at it like a rental car. You know what I mean? Like if you go get a rental car and it's like just a family sedan, you whatever. You use it for A to B, whatever. But you go out and this is your dream car. You gonna be like, dang, I kind of want to keep this.
So Sean, hold up. Let me
Exactly.
ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. You're promoting to not just be yourself, is what you're telling me? You say B game
Are you
instead of A
asking me?
game. No, I'm talking about Rashad. So I feel you should just be yourself. If they catch feelings, then y'all talk about it. Cause maybe you catching feelings or whatever. And if one person is only catching feelings, y'all talk about how y'all can make that work. And if she or he can't, the one who's catching feelings can't handle it, then you gotta go your separate ways. But I think you should always be genuine from the get go.
I'm not saying
Just
that's
be
not
yourself.
being genuine, but
You say B game.
there's levels.
We know what the B game is,
there's
meaning you ain't gonna
Well,
do.
both people
Yeah.
have to
You
know
don't,
what's
you don't
going
treat
on.
you don't treat your side piece like you treat your wife or whatever, or somebody that you're trying to make into your wife.
Wait, what?
So this
Okay,
is-
what would be the difference? Oscar?
Okay, like how you got technically a wife right now, right?
Mhm.
If it was just some girl you just want to smash, you won't be doing all the things. You won't have the same you won't treat her the same way. Like if she say, "Hey, David, I need a place to stay," you'd probably be looking at her crazy like, oh, "Okay, I don't know why you asking me." If she call you at a late night or something like, "Hey, I'm on the other side of town. I got a flat." You'll probably be like, "Why she calling me? She need to call AAA." That's what he mean about being A game. You can't give her the same level of security and provision that you would give a girl that you're really trying to be with.
I
Like,
still
you're not
think
gonna
you
be-
can.
You're not gonna
I
go
s-
out on dates with her all the time. You're not gonna be readily available for her 24/7, like somebody that you actually considering, hey, I want to be in a relationship with you. You're gonna act
So-
a lot differently. That's what he means by B game.
I understand what he's saying. I think you can still be genuine. Like, for example, if I had a side chick and then I had Pilar,
Mhm.
I would just be honest with my side chick about everything. I'll tell her, okay, our arrangement here is just like me. I like you for your body. You like me for, let's say, my money. And whenever I want to utilize your body, you can utilize my money. And if you need help, like in any other normal way, like you would treat any other stranger, I would help you. So let's say if you needed a ride, if I can give you a ride, I give you a ride. But if it conflicts, let's say with something more important in my life, like I gotta take my kids to, I don't know, football practice or something, then I might have to do that first. But I'm still being honest.
Well, it's not
Go.
that he wasn't being
Go.
honest or genuine. That was
just you
the
prioritize
verdict
them
that he
different.
brought up.
Mhm.
He,
It's-
he,
I'm catch-
he just,
Okay, I'm glad y'all said that. Then we good.
It's
You
catching
just prioritize.
it's catching feelings, meaning like you get upset with the person. That's what I'm trying to figure out what catching feelings I'm talking about.
Not
Because
you not getting what you want.
hold on,
you act outside of the constraints of the agreement.
okay,
So,
but
Yeah.
yeah, meaning that you don't have any place to get jealous or because I'm going out on a date, you don't have any place to feel some kind of way about where you think you're prioritized in my life when it's already been established that those areas of my life are reserved for someone not in your position.
so
So
catching
that's not,
like being like being feeling rejected of
No.
to a degree, yeah.
It's
To a degree.
You saying you
Because-
like that person.
I'm saying wait a minute. The reason why I'm saying all that is because you can be in love with someone and don't. I thought that was catching for have love for someone, but you in a non-monogamous relationship. I mean,
Open relationship.
that you can have that and have feelings for someone, but if someone says, "I'm sorry, I can't be there today," or I mean, you got to call somebody else to get you stuck out in the rain and your car. I mean, your tire is down. that person, I wouldn't be mad at that person because they got other obligations, like David said. So it's like catching feelings sounds like it's like you get mad at that person. And
I have real life. When you're done, I have real life experiences.
go ahead.
Go.
So I had an ex, right, who fell in love with me. We fell in love with each other, whatever. I fell out of love. We separated. He still wanted to be in my life. And I told him I'm going to see other people because I wasn't in love with him, but I was trying to please him and make him happy. So he said, okay, well, you can see other people. We're supposed to be friends with benefits. Yeah,
That's
so
all he wanted.
that wasn't, you would think, but I was fine. You know, I was fine without him. I wasn't out there dating, but I didn't want to be tied to him. So he couldn't see me with other people, and I wasn't attached to him emotionally. So he was always upset. Like he was always sensitive, and so if that person that person is treating you like, if he's a man, he was treating me like his girlfriend still. So his feelings were still there regardless of whether they had a friends with benefits relationship. And I didn't have the same connection emotionally. So he would always get hurt, you know, his feelings hurt because he was assuming that although it was a friends with benefits relationship that we established, he still believed that we kind of had that connection.
Can I say something, Yvette? I think he was just trying to manipulate you. I think he just
Oh
wanted.
no.
I think
I
he
promise
just
you
wanted.
this man was not manipulating me.
I think he just want. Well, hold on. This is my opinion. I know you know the scenario, but I think men we're cut from the same mold. If you sold up
You
your
have the same
vagina,
genital parts.
I'm Gucci, just so y'all know.
if you sold up your vagina and never offered him vagina or blowjobs, he'd have a different way of how he treats you. That's what I'm thinking. I think he's just trying to manipulate you, get in your head so he can have sex, oral sex or whatever, make you think, oh, I want to be with you. This, and that. Guys got all kinds of tricks that they to get a girl to be in the orbit that they want. In my opinion,
I know a lot of those tricks. Believe it or not, I know a lot of those tricks, and I've been with a lot of different personalities of men, and I grew up with men where I was one of the guys always. So, and I always, I got close enough where I understood what level they were on emotionally and mentally and psychologically. So I knew, regardless of what your body tells you that you want to do, your heart's going to tell you something else. So, yes, men want sex. That's normal. That's typical. That's nothing out of this. It's not abnormal. However, the attachment that he had with me, it wasn't manipulative. It wasn't like he was trying to say, oh, yeah, I want to, you know, trying to stroke my ego, my heart, whatever. On the contrary, like I wasn't accepting any of that. I didn't want any of the emotional stuff. So he's the one that wanted it. So that's why I'm telling you there's a different level of what you're saying with friends and benefits. Because
Go ahead, Oscar.
I was gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say catching feelings is just a term to explain when one person actually is expecting something more out of the relationship than the other person. Whatever the boundaries you set for that relationship,
the
the person
expectations.
that they say is catching feelings is the one that's like, okay, I know we just friends with benefits, but I want something more. So they start having expectations of you that might not be realistic or in touch with what a friend with benefits is. So it's like, you calling a person at 2 a.m. because they're your friends with benefits. That person is like, okay, I come over, but I want to stay now. And you're like, nah, we friends with benefits.
Right.
You got to go home. Now they feeling a certain way
Exactly.
because they overstepping the boundaries of what a friends with benefit is or whatever. So that's all it means. Is
that's
just a term
usually
to explain that.
the term.
And that's where it was messed up because I was cool with the label, with the situation, with the relationship, but he wasn't. So when two people get together, they got to come to an understanding like, okay, this is what it is. I was fine with it. And I'm, you know, but don't tell me that you want something or that you are okay with something and then not agree with that.
I
Not
would
act in that.
have called them out. I would have said, you know you can't handle that. I know you. I know how
Oh, I did.
it was, so you won't be able to handle that. But I'm letting you know that I'm going to see other people, and I know you ain't gonna be able to handle that. Deal with
I told him, man. He was still
it
trying to stick
before,
around, so I
before,
cut it
before
off.
you start. And you
Yeah.
know,
He was just a little jealous. He was emotional.
What was his
Big
sign?
time.
He was a sensitive person. He was a Taurus, which is
Oh,
for some reason
interesting.
Cancers and Tauruses, they weirdly connect, but it's toxic. I'll tell you right now. Cancers and Tauruses, a
Why?
Cancer woman,
You
because I feel like a Taurus. So every Taurus that I've dated,
you buy into
they have
that
this-
first? Not to cut
I
you off,
don't, but I'm just telling you because when somebody tells me they're a Taurus, and then my cousin's in the back of my in the back of my mind saying, "What's his sign?" I'm always gonna remember this sign.
Do they
So-
have? I'm asking curiously, honestly. You think
whatever you want to say.
that because the Earth was in a certain portion of the sky when a person was born, that the gravity affects their chemicals in their brain a certain way to make them act a certain
please
way?
don't say yes, Yvette.
I have absolutely no opinion on that. All I
Okay,
know is
good.
that if a person has a sign and this sign is with this, I literally don't know anything about it. I just hear what other people say. If my cousin says, "Oh, what's his sign?" Then I tell her, and she's like, "Oh,
Okay,
Wait,
so-
Jen."
y'all don't believe in horoscopes?
What's everybody's signs?
Hell no.
I'm a Cancer. Cancers. I'm
Capricorn.
telling you, Cancer woman, Taurus man.
I'm a Aquarius. I thought it was the water sign, but it's the air sign. I believe in horoscopes.
That's what we get. That's what we
Every
get.
What do
time
you
I
mean?
go-
What do
My
you mean
best
by you
friend, my best
believe in
friend
it,
is
Oscar?
It's
You
like
said-
one of the best opening lines when you go out and you talking to somebody.
A
Oh
lot of
shit!
people do that.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
leaving
It ain't got no actual
Anybody
logic
who-
behind it.
I just know by
Anybody
experience.
who believes what Dave just said has not read anything on the science of the zodiac.
There's a
The
sci-
science
there's
of the
a
zodiac
science.
has no chemical. It has no
There is
physical
astrology.
bearing on the human mind. Phil.
First off, what is the definition of science?
To
Oh
know.
my goodness.
It's to know.
The study
The
of
st-
things.
the
Yeah.
study of-
Yeah.
That's what science means, but the definition is
Mhm.
the study of any subject. So any subject that you study, you can observe. You can observe.
And astrology.
Is it an
astrology is like the
is it
study
an
of that, like
accepted science? I
astrology.
should say. I guess you're right.
It's
It could be a
pseudo-
science of anything.
'Cause astrology is the study of the stars,
Right.
for example.
So the
Or
same way that
The signs.
and we're going off on a crazy tangent.
I
but
mean,
think
We can talk about that.
Are.
Since we're here.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Since
That's the
we're
whole
here.
point. We talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the same way that she made and how do people learn? People learn by studying patterns and their observation.
Mm.
So that's what
Right.
the zodiac,
That has
her
no
pattern and
bearing.
her observation was that
He's right.
men with these men born in this sign have these traits, and she's seen it
Yes.
enough, and more and a lot more people than that are on here have seen it enough to accept that there's something to it. So
It
to,
ain't Phil. It ain't nothing to it.
And I'll tell you,
so to indiscriminately
Oscar,
say something.
two level-headed people. Can y'all stop
Hold on,
these
let
from
him
talking
let
like
him
there's
let
a
him
link to
Let
this?
him
let him
finish,
finish.
let him
Let him
finish,
finish.
let him finish.
Let him finish.
Okay, go.
Man,
Now y'all see what I deal
You
with.
see,
Go
this
ahead,
is the
Phil.
dynamics. Look, until we all on this level
no,
of
so
you
glad I got
can't
Now
just talk
people
over
up here,
people
up
and
here.
say
Dave, you
it's
gotta let him
dynamic,
finish.
bro.
You gotta
Okay.
let
You
him
can't just
finish.
talk
You
over
gotta
people
let
and
him
say it's
finish.
dynamic.
How about we raise our
There's-
hands when we want to talk?
There's a certain level of respect we have to have with one another when we're
I overreacted with y'all started to talk about something that's dumb. I get a little overreacted here. Okay,
Well,
keep going.
well,
Nothing
yeah,
is dumb.
work on that. The thing is that you can't just well, it says something about someone who will just indiscriminately dismiss a gang of people who have a certain belief. That's the first thing I would say. That shows a level of closed-mindedness that of not being accepting of someone who believes differently than you. There's cause
Does that mean
for
shots fired?
for caution there, but in regards to the whole zodiac thing, our parents was in. Some of us got here because our parents believed in that, or at least to the extent that Oscar brought up, where hey, it was the biggest pickup line in the
Biggest
70s.
pickup line.
That's
What's your name?
don't
What's
mean
your
it has no
sign?
bearing on the way the stars are. Just because the stars are in a certain position in the
Let me tell you why
space
it
has
does.
nothing to do with the way you
Wait,
act.
listen.
Let me tell
After
you
he
why.
says something, then I'm gonna say something.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you why it does. Much like what Rashad brought to, even though I think
Wait, hold up. Watch this. Sean, do you think the star's position in space has something to do
what
with
I'm
the way you
saying for
think?
you to make your point?
Can you mute
You
him? I
have to
mean,
put
mute
you
him.
have to force mute. Force mute.
Can you mute him? Yeah, please mute him
I
until
mean,
he's.
no.
You can't force me.
Yeah, this is it's a group just.
That's a part. That's the whole
Yeah,
point
I
of
don't
this
have
podcast.
control over
Entertainment.
this
Well,
chat room,
man,
basically.
I'm gonna say, Dave, you being awfully rude, bro.
My bad. Go ahead, Phil. You're
But
trying to make some logical out of star alignments and the way somebody's personality
Okay, go ahead.
attitude is.
You
It
go
doesn't
ahead.
work.
Listen,
I love
listen.
how
I'm
you
not
said,
gonna.
"Go
I'm
ahead,
not
Phil,"
gonna.
and started talking.
Wait, I'm not gonna fire shots right now, but I just want to point out that for a person who's going against astrology and signs, your username starts with cosmic.
That's funny.
Boom.
You said I'm going
Cosmic
against
clarity,
science.
okay? I'm just
The
gonna point that
the
out.
astrology part.
I'm
I
not
like
gonna shoot shots.
Did
Okay,
you just
I
say I
wanna
was going
tell
against
you.
science? Did you just say I was going against science? Oh no.
All right.
See, you got it all wrong.
Dave,
Anyway,
let them
Okay.
finish so we can have a rebuttal to what they're saying instead of
Okay,
Yeah,
interrupting
because I
them.
want to say something about this.
Go ahead, Phil. Did you finish? I'm sorry.
No,
No, he didn't
I'm
finish.
I'm trying to think about where I was going with that.
You were. I know you ended up with that people get together because of signs.
Yeah. So, Shad, you asked the question. I think you were kind of being facetious or cheeky at the least when you said, "Do you think that it's that people have certain traits because they're born at a particular time where basically based on the precession? The precession is the place in time the Earth is at in the universe with regards to its proximity to the constellation and the sun, right, and the moon, for that matter. And while that may sound a little far fetched from people, we do know that our environment is influenced, or we are influenced by our environment, not only the physical environment that we live in. We know that women's cycle is based off of the lunar the lunar modes. We know that the human body is 70-80% of water, so that
Phil, I gotta step in. Phil, you ain't saying some stuff that's
Can we
accurate.
clap
First
on
off,
that one?
a
Dave,
woman's menstrual
Dave.
cycle would happen if we didn't have a moon at all.
Dave.
It would still happen.
I know you. It's hard for you, Dave, but let him
We
finish
Hold on.
so we
A
can
woman's
rebut it.
menstrual cycle would still happen regardless if we had a moon or not. Okay, and also star alignment don't dictate your
I
personality.
muted him
Dave.
on my side.
Dave,
Yeah.
David. All right.
So I agree with you, Phil. I like for the first of all the lunar cycle. I've been scientifically studying it for the past few years, and actually probably the past year and a half, I've been paying attention to every time there's a full moon, and regardless of whether I'm on my period or not, my dynamic, like my mental, my mind changes, my heart, my spirit changes, and I know because I feel that connection with the moon or whatever.
Let
Do
him
you
finish.
agree with that, Sean?
You gotta let her finish, Dave.
It's all about
No.
energy.
We can't
it's all about
just
energy.
yell at each other.
And that, oh my
Yeah. Remember,
Go ahead and talk.
everything that we say, regardless, at the end of the day, everything that we say, unless it's proven, scientifically or legally or whatever, it's all subjective. I'm just saying,
No.
if I'm giving my opinion, you can't go against my opinion.
No. You can't say the alignment of the stars dictates the way you think. You can't say that and
We're
say
past
that
that.
and then try to give me the
Number one,
burden
we're
to
talking about
prove
the
it.
moon. Number two, we're
I
talking
don't
about
have to
my own
believe in it,
feelings.
but you can shut
Yeah,
up.
I'm sorry with what Phil
Yeah.
said. Number one, he was talking about the stars. Number two, he was talking about the moon. And you
I didn't
will
even
be
finish what I
menstrual
was saying.
regardless of the moon being
Right.
here or not. Okay.
So go ahead.
Let's get Sean and Oscar see how they gonna try to spin this to
I'll tell you
support
just, I can tell you
logical
mine real
points of
quick.
view.
I can tell you mine real
Let's
quick.
try to.
There's nothing
let's see if you can
scientifically
let them
proven
finish.
about astrology. It's that simple. There's nothing
Okay,
scientifically
good.
proven about astrology.
Good.
Mhm.
Thanks. I'm glad somebody said something smart. Now let's hear Shaw say something.
I mean,
What,
that's go ahead.
no,
There's
I
nothing
didn't. I
smarter
didn't hear
than
what
not
you
smart.
said. I mean,
Yeah.
Oscar.
I said there's nothing scientifically proven about astrology.
Okay.
There's
Right.
been studies that have debunked it for the longest time.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm. Well, getting back to where we were.
Oh,
Yeah,
let
go ahead.
Shaw speak. He haven't had a chance.
Yeah,
No,
let us
you
all
could say-
speak on it, and let us all speak on it. Go ahead.
I mean,
Mhm.
I agree with Oscar. It's been debunked. And even if, let's say it was correct, right? You realize that we're at a different age than hell. They were in a different age than one of our parents, as a matter of fact. So
Mhm.
everyone's signs would be different, anyways. When someone's born at the end of May, they're not a Gemini anymore. But we've kept it because it's a tradition. So that in itself, I mean, just because something tradition doesn't make it factual.
Well, let me address that point.
Finally, you got
The zodiac
some intelligent people.
isn't necessarily based on the dates that we have set up as we know them, in the same way that 300 years ago there wasn't a September or October, meaning we were under a different, well, maybe more longer than that. We were under a different calendar.
Yeah, we didn't go to we went to the Gregorian calendar.
Gregorian, yep.
Yeah.
Like in the
We
early, like the
We went to the stars.
1600s
We
or
looked at the
something.
stars.
Yeah.
We
So you
counted on the
understand that.
stars.
So
to tell
even the
us.
Gregorian calendar is all fucked up, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
The Gregory, I think he was a monk or Pope Gregory, or that's where they get the name Gregorian from. He was
Right.
he tried
Mhm.
to use science and figure out when Jesus was born, and there was a report
And you
of
can't.
there was a report of a supernova. I mean, they didn't know what a supernova was, but there was an explosion in the sky. But it's basically what is a supernova. So he thought that was basically the North Star, not the North Star, but the, what is it? What started the Star of Bethlehem? Yeah,
Polaris? Oh, my
the Star
bad.
of Bethlehem. And
Okay.
so, but the Catholic churches even came up and said, "Hey, that was wrong. We were about 7 years off." So technically, even the calendar that we use is wrong, but we still use it
We can't.
because why change it? You know.
Right. Okay.
I just
So
want to point out we can't count on the
what you
Catholic Church back in the day.
what you
Can't
just
count on no
said.
religion.
No, what you just
They
said.
burned books.
Can I
Go ahead.
can I say something about the astrology? I believe in the signs, but not just like you said. They're off. I believe in the stars. I believe in alignment of when we get here. If it didn't exist, we wouldn't have it. It's basically we do it for agenda purposes, for agenda of what we
What?
come here to do.
What's the agenda?
What are you talking about?
Everybody's agenda is different. Okay, it's a game. When we get here, it's a game.
Do you
Get
think,
here where? From where?
do you think we live in a simulation?
Simulation, as in another dimension. Is that
Dimension.
what you're saying?
But imagine this being
It has been
the
scientific.
Like not,
world's
it's not reality.
well, it's
Yeah,
our
it's
reality.
not-
But imagine this being the most advanced video game ever created.
Yes, that's what I believe it is.
Okay,
Oh my
Can
goodness.
I say something?
go ahead.
So I'm just gonna. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were. Go
Uh,
ahead.
I wanted to finish. Y'all. So
We got 5 minutes, people.
the
If they willing to stay,
Oh.
don't mind. We keep talking. Go ahead, Michelle.
the whole thing about this is that if everyone if it wasn't any signs like astrology, if you really look at it, everyone would be born on the same time frame. You know, like every year everybody be born one time at the certain time, like a season. You know, just like any other natural animal, like in the springtime where birds are being born, we would have been just like that. So
I don't
that's
get it.
how I feel. Because so the agenda that we have when we come here, that's what makes us figure out what time frame we were born, because it is like a mood. It's a statement that we want to make in this video game type of situation we're in, and
Did
succeed.
Did you choose when you got to come in?
Yes, I
Okay.
sure did.
Okay. Go ahead,
I'm
Yvette.
just gonna,
Yeah, I completely don't
I'm
understand
just
that
gonna
you were
tie it
talking
back
about.
to the original. I'm gonna tie it back to the original science topic where we were with the relationship thing, because we went way off. But I'm gonna just say, because my experiences, real live experiences of me being a Cancer, right? I'm not an astrology person, science thing, only from what I know from my experiences with Tauruses, 4 Tauruses and a Cancer. They love deeply in the beginning, and then it's toxic because a Cancer woman will be too, although Cancer woman is more emotional or whatever, according
Aren't you
to
a
what
Cancer?
everybody says. I'm a Cancer, yeah. So apparently that's what everybody says, like the Cancer is more emotional, empathic, whatever, all
I don't
those
mean
things.
it's true though.
A Taurus, right, comes in strong, but they end up getting weakened by a Cancer. I'll just tell you right now, they end up becoming sensitive, and that's where we were, like the relationship dynamic of a Cancer sign,
But
Cancer woman,
Yvette,
and a Taurus. Yeah.
Yvette, none of that is actually why these people act the way they act. The way these people act is just
That's not
because
what
of
I'm
other
saying.
circumstances.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
Well,
is
she
my
finished.
experience, which is it's an objective experience, subjective to you because you don't know it. And I'm
No, I'm not saying you didn't
I'm not
experience it.
defining the Cancer or the Taurus population, and I'm not saying this is how they are. I'm telling you, in 4 relationships where 4 Taurus men were involved, and a Cancer woman, they all failed because
Oscar,
they
hold
No,
on, Yvette.
y'all.
Hold
It's
on,
been
hold on,
around.
Yvette. Hold up. I
You
got
gotta
a question
roll.
to ask Oscar.
What's
Hold
the
on, I gotta ask Oscar a
You
question.
got to roll,
Oscar,
Phil? Phil's out.
What's oh, all right, Phil.
that's fine. Let him beat it.
Mhm.
Check this out, Oscar. If you got a jar with 100 marbles, okay, 99 are red,
Mhm.
1 is blue. Is it possible every time when you stick your hand into that jar of marbles,
Mhm.
blindfolded, is it possible for that every time you stick your hand in that jar to grab that 1 blue marble, you can actually grab that 1 blue marble? Is it possible every single time?
Yes, it's possible.
So what that means, Yvette, is that just because you had an experience with some guys who happen to be all Cancer or whatever the astrology sign you said they were, does
Sure.
not mean that that's what every other Cancer, since you put a title of, the whole astrology thing on these people, that doesn't mean that they all act that way.
Right, that's not what I said. So that's
No.
what you're
You're
understanding.
trying to say that
But that's not what I said.
okay, are you trying to say Cancers all act a certain way?
I'm saying in 4 relationships that I had personally from my experience and no one
Mhm.
else's, and it's not a judgment based on what astrology is or anything like that. My experiences with 4 Taurus men and me being a Cancer woman, it doesn't work.
You see
My
what she said?
experience. I don't work with a person who's labeled as a Taurus.
Hold on.
I'm not saying I haven't worked with many other people, but I'm just saying, since we got to the labels of astrology, if you wanted to know, the 4 relationships that didn't work were
That's
Tauruses.
fine. Right.
Hold on, Dave.
So that's
Okay,
what I wanted
go.
you to
This
understand.
is the question that David really want to ask. So would that change the way you go into dating another Taurus man? Or would you
Not at
avoid
all.
Taurus men? So you would still date one and you wouldn't look at him any
Yeah.
differently based off of your past experience of dating Taurus men?
Not at all. I have
Okay.
nothing. It has
There you go,
nothing to do
Dave.
with me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
It has nothing to do with.
I'm glad
I'm
she
the same
said
person
that.
going in and going out.
I'm glad she said that, but I'm willing to believe that she's just saying that to save face, because I think she really believed that astrology has something to do with a person's personality. I really think she believed that. But that's my opinion.
I get it. I get it because you don't know me, but that's probably that's a personal problem. So one day you will understand that I am exactly who I show you that I am. And if I tell you that means nothing to me, it means nothing to me.
You literally made a point about Tauruses and Cancers, and you had the
No, I
experience
told you
with
my
4 of them.
experiences. I didn't
I
make
know.
a
What
point.
was your point to
I
that?
told you my experiences.
Right. What
That's
was your
why I
point?
asked the
about-
question. That's why I answered that
Yeah,
question, Dave.
yeah,
So to be
Yeah.
clarified,
It
because I
has
knew what
nothing
you
to
was
do.
getting
The
at
signs.
and what
So
she was
before we got to the conversation about what my experiences were, I said it, right? Before we even knew what we were going to talk about, I said that I didn't believe in it, right? So that should have told you 10, 20 minutes ago that had no judgment on
I
my
don't re-
opinion on astrology. So
I'm sorry, but I
I
disagree.
dropped
I
the
think
mic
you
on
do.
that one.
I think you do. I'm sorry about that, but
What
I
you
still think
drinking
I
now?
don't know
You
you.
can
Hold up.
you can think.
Some
I
aged
understand.
bourbon
You know, it's hard to know.
wine.
Bourbon barrel aged Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, look at you. All right.
We lost somebody. What happened?
Nah, Phil had to go. He had to,
Yeah, he left. He was.
he has to
Yeah.
leave around this
Daughter.
time every Thursday. So
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate. Listen, I'm just gonna say anything that I ever say. First of all, thank you for having me here. Second of all, anything that I ever say, and if you once you get to know me, you'll understand that I have no judgment. I have no argument against anything. I'm gonna give you my opinion, and it's always gonna be subjective to all listeners, no matter what, because everybody has their own opinion, own perception. So, David, I know you're always going to say something against what everybody else says, and that's okay. That's your
No,
personal
what?
opinion, and it's subjective. So I'm going to
You saying
drop the
I'm gonna
mic
say
on my
she been watching the
opinion
episodes.
on
Dog.
religion.
Yeah.
You saying that I'm gonna say something against everybody? No, as long as you saying something factual, I will
Yeah.
be in agreement with you.
But it's
not all
not
the time,
factual if you
Dave.
go against it, like, because it's
I will be
if
in
your
agreement.
opinion, if your perception is not is goes against what everybody else thinks, then nothing is going to be.
I'll
It's
prove
going to go
it.
against everything that you say.
Here's an example.
Right?
You and Philip.
Because you talk before people can really get their opinion out, so you're already judging the situation.
I'm
You're
trying to
already
understand the
assuming.
context.
And
Yeah.
I'm not arguing with you, by the way. I'm not mad or anything. I'm just being, I'm just trying to get it out before you talk over me.
Phil just made
He
a point
refused
about
to-
how there is a correlation and there's
He
not.
refused to
With
revolve.
astrology.
And the correlation of what? What's the
With
correlation about
astrology
what?
in a person's personality. Phil tried to make that an actual thing. You were saying things
don't
as
think
if
he-
you have evidence, even though you were saying earlier, "Oh, I don't believe it." But it's like, to me,
Yeah.
why are you even bringing it up? Because I think you
I
kinda
honestly
believe it.
wanted to
One,
hear
and then try to
everything
prove
Phil
it.
had to say so I
Two-
could rebut it, but you kept
Yeah.
interrupting him.
Phil had like
Phil
5 minutes.
was
We
trying
heard
to bring
everything
in
he
the
said.
history behind it.
Because you
Phil
kept
was trying to
interrupting
bring
him.
in the history behind it. Two, me, I was trying to bring my experience. Okay.
Yeah.
Phil was
Get
trying to bring
that.
common knowledge. I was trying to bring my experience and connect it with what I experienced and what,
Connected?
multiple times. So I never assumed. So that's just so that you know, and we're clear. I'm never, and I will never state something as factual unless it actually is. And I said from the beginning, before we had this conversation, I do not believe it. So that before I told you my experience, you didn't think that I just had this idea that, okay, the two stars aligned or anything like that. I told you I didn't believe in it, right? So that you understood that regardless of my opinion on the matter, I still had this situation where Cancers and Tauruses aligned, and
your
it's still a toxic
experience.
relationship regardless. So not that I'm
But
going against you,
It has
but
nothing
I'm
to do
not
with
going with
cancers.
you either.
You hear what I say, Yvette? I
Right.
understand your experience, but your experience has nothing to do with cancers. Even though you say, whatever, all cancers, David. I'm like, that's fine. But that still has nothing
My
to do with their
experience. Wait, I am a
personality.
Cancer. That's my experience. I'm a Cancer.
Y'all want to go
What you going to say, Michelle?
Did you? Okay, so
I think.
is the problem is with you? You refuse to evolve. When I say evolve, that means to get to know each person's character, and then the energy, feel their energy. I mean, obviously, you know your guys. You've been around your guys for a long time. So evolve into understanding a person's energy, just like she was saying earlier. I'm sorry, what's your name?
It's Yvette.
Yvette.
I got it.
Yvette.
I got you.
Yvette said that she the dude that caught feelings with, when she already peeped his understanding of who he was. That's the reason why she didn't no longer want to be with him, because of his energy that she did not want to be. So it's almost like
It's not the sign.
He was
what
a
I'm
Ford
trying-
Taurus. I don't like Ford Tauruses either.
listen.
Me
I don't
neither.
No, hold on. I don't even know her, but I understand her because I'm listening to her, how she moves in life. So that's what I'm saying. You need to start evolving and listening to people.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You know what I'm saying?
So you don't
I'm
want to
good.
know who you're talking to?
And instead of not saying that
No, I'm a learn as we talk. Like, see, here's my thing. I'm gonna tell you my
But you
problem
don't
with
let
you.
us talk.
you
Hold
you
on.
don't let us talk.
I'm a ask my two buddies here. That's just how I am.
Work
Okay,
on
you
that.
gotta get used to that. Gotta get used to it.
Work on it.
Ask Oscar. It's been like that for decades.
Yeah,
Ask Charles the same way.
okay.
he's a horrible listener. He already has in
I
his
can
mind what
handle
he
it.
thinks that you're saying. That's why I answered that question, because I knew what she was saying. I was like, let me clarify this for Dave, because he ain't actually listening to
knew
what
that.
you're saying.
I knew that, but the thing is, here's my problem. Okay,
You're listening to the wrong thing is the problem.
here's my thing. When you brought up the whole astrology and attached it to your experiences with these dudes, I'm sitting here thinking, what is your point? Phil over here trying to make a connection scientifically, which is wrong, and then here you is saying, well, they were all Cancers or Sagittariuses, and I'm sitting there going, okay, what's your point? You know, I could have dated 5 Virgos, but do I have to bring up 5 Virgos that I dated and try to say, oh, well, they all thought alike, when that has nothing to do with their personality, their astrology
I'll tell
sign?
you my point. I'll tell you my point, right? My point is this conversation started with relationships, right? With FWB relationships. So it makes sense to tie back to the original topic and not steer off. So the fact that I tried to tie my relationships to a theme or a topic, astrology, which is a conversation that I didn't even bring up. You guys did.
I didn't.
Tying it back to a relationship, right? So all Philip was doing was trying to get you to understand the science behind it, not to make
Ain't
you
no science
believe that
behind
it's
it.
real, but understand where it came from. Okay, that's what he was trying to make you understand.
I
Nobody's
know
trying to
where
make
it
you
came
believe
from.
anything that you don't want to
educate
believe.
me.
I'm telling you what experiences I had to tie back to the friends with benefits relationship. So if you didn't know how to get back to that point, that's on you. But I knew where I was.
What? I don't even know what you're talking about
I
now.
just gotta stay on track.
I
So
don't.
if we're talking about FWB,
It's simple. If you say something that ain't factual, I'ma speak about it. It's just
We're
that
gonna have
simple.
We're gonna have to hold your hand every time, David. We're gonna have to hold your hand because
And
you
just
won't
so you
Dave,
know,
this
You
Dave,
will
this
just so
goes
you know,
to
David, I would love to continue another day, and trust me that I am not. I love you, actually. I love this conversation because I can really come at you with something, but just know
Long
that
as
I'm
it's
not going to
factual.
get you here. I'm not challenging you. I'm just telling you what's happening and where I was going with the situation because
I
I'm
got
still
it.
tying the topic and staying on topic. That's why.
I get that. I
So,
get that.
and I'm also supporting everybody that's on here, including Philip, which he wasn't going off. He wasn't saying that astrology was real. He was giving you information on where it came from and how it works in,
I understand that.
in our
I understand
society.
that. Which is
And I understand that you don't believe it, and that's why you're arguing against it, and that's okay. That's your opinion. But what again, we're talking about relationships, right? That was the original topic. So I tried to stick to that theme. I'm not telling you to believe
I stick
anything.
to
I'm
the
not telling
theme
you
of
that anybody
logic.
else
I
was,
stick to the
you know,
theme
right
of
or wrong.
logic. If you
I'm
start
telling
talking
you
dumb
that
stuff,
Cancer women
then I'm gonna have to
and
say
Taurus
something about
men
it.
are a sensitive combination, or a
I
toxic
stick to the
combination.
theme of
I
logic.
had relationships where men were they couldn't be friends with me because they were sensitive, and that's me tying it back to the original topic.
I get what you're saying. I just stick to the theme of logic.
That's it. But logic is, regardless of logic, we stick to the theme, right? So logic is important, which is so history, right? So Philip was focusing on history. I was focusing on experience. Everybody's giving their opinions. It's all subjective. Again, what's objective? What's subjective? You cannot argue against someone's
Hold on.
experience, right?
Let
You
me,
can't tell me that my experience was wrong.
everything
That's
isn't
number one. You
subjective.
can't, that
We
what I
live
went
in,
through as a Cancer
Yvette,
woman, but just
we
because
live in
I'm a
an
Cancer,
objective reality
I'm a
here.
Cancer in the relationships I was with a Taurus, I'm just telling you because the topic is there. Oh, hey, look, you know what? 4 of my relationships that I had with 4 Taurus men were really bad.
Damn,
So that's what I'm
Ford
telling you.
What's your
Tauruses.
point? I still,
Yeah.
when you
I'm
say
not
that,
telling you
I had
that
a Ford
Taurus
Taurus,
and
the
Cancer
transmission
women
blew out.
are not. I'm not telling you that like that astrology is real, or that Taurus men shouldn't be with Cancer women. I'm telling you
Oscar,
that
listen to this.
Taurus
Check this
men.
out. If somebody would have came in on
I'm
this
done.
video,
By the way, my mic is dropped.
if somebody would have came in on this video right when Yvette said, "Oh, my last 4 bad relationships were Tauruses," this person who just came in on the video will get the impression that somehow being a Taurus has something to do with your personality. This
I
is what
would.
they would get from this.
No
I
one
would-
just
You
saw
said
the
that's
video.
not
We
what you
all read it
believe.
at the same time.
Which means she shouldn't
That-
bring it up.
That is
I
that is a possibility. Somebody could have came in if they saw that little snippet and said, "Hey, she trying to say something bad about Ford Tauruses," because I had one in the
Yeah,
transmission.
Ford
did mess up.
Tauruses.
Yeah, I don't have any
But
any no
this is the thing.
Malibu, no
Hold on,
Taurus,
hold on,
no
hold on. This is the
GMC.
thing. Whenever somebody is speaking, and David, we had this conversation all the time. You got to actually listen to what they're saying. Once you jump to the end and go, okay, I assume this is what they talk. Especially when you in the conversation with them and you can, you have all the context clues to see what they actually talking about. You actually got to listen to what they say and then go, okay, let me process this. Did they actually say, I think that astrology is a proven science? No,
Process
and
it.
that should be your actual question. Like when I came in and answered the question to her, she actually answered the question, even though she said it before.
I asked her
because you were-
already, and she said
you
the
were-
same thing.
Yes, but you were going on like saying this, and this, and I'm like, but she's not advocating for that. So you actually have to be an
I heard
active
what she
listener
said.
and
I
listen
heard
to what
she
they say.
said.
David's never
There's
gonna
no
want me on
reason
here
for her
ever
to bring
again.
up her exes.
No, you
Let's say,
good.
for
Always
example,
welcome.
it's no reason for her
Always
to bring
welcome.
up. Listen to this, Oscar. It's no reason for her to bring up her exes as being all Tauruses because
Why not? If
You
she's
need
just
to
telling
put
her
behind that.
experiences. Hold on, Dave. That's
Oh,
like,
we're
Dave,
talking
hold
about
up. Let me speak.
That's fine.
Hold up, Dave. Let me speak.
People
Let me
may be
speak.
misled.
Dave,
He
let me
moderating right now.
speak.
I want to
Let me
speak.
speak.
I want to speak. after
Dave,
you.
like when we talking, and a lot of times you bring up, we'll be on a point, and you bring up something else, and I actually say, Dave, what does that have to do with the point that we talking about? You like, well, Oscar, this is what I want to talk about. I'm like, okay, cool, we can talk about that, but I always try to stay on the point first, and then go, okay, once we get that point clarified, then you can talk about whatever you want to. All she was bringing up was her experience. You
I
jumped
know.
and tried to make it into something like, oh, she's saying
No.
this, and this, and
There's
this.
really no point for her to bring up the fact that they was Tauruses. She could have just said she dated 4 assholes. That'd have been fine.
So you're
That's
saying all
the
Tauruses
point
are
that I got
assholes?
from it.
That's what I got. But when she said they were all Tauruses, what you do is mislead other people on thinking
Well,
that it's
were-
something wrong with Tauruses.
Were
You
you
know what I'm
misled?
saying?
Were you misled, Dave?
That doesn't make sense.
Were you
That's-
misled, Dave?
What?
That's your mental
Were-
capacity.
I
Were
just
you
said
mis-
earlier, Oscar, if
Were
somebody
you
came
misled,
in,
Dave?
yeah,
Can I say-
obviously. Why you, Oscar? There you go with these questions. I'm not.
You
But if
just
somebody
advocated
came in
it.
on the video, they could
Were
have been
you
misled.
I'm asking you a specific question.
No.
You okay?
David,
So
I
then,
just
why were
want
you
you to
going
know-
on with what you're talking about if you weren't
Because
misled?
I'm still trying to figure out why would she say it, knowing that you can mislead somebody
She
by
told you
trying
why.
to attach astrology to a
Michelle wants to
personality.
say something.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Michelle.
That is your. That's what I'm saying. You don't evolve. You go to rush to your own conclusion
Yes.
without asking the question. Just
As
ask.
long as y'all feel comfortable being everybody against me, I'm fine. As long as I'm logical, it's just all that matters. There's
That
no
wasn't logical.
scientific
Can you let
correlation
her
with
finish? Can
astrology.
you
It's
let
just
her
that simple.
finish?
Let me
Can you
finish.
let her
When she
finish?
said
One.
all Tauruses, for
Put a
me,
thought bubble
then
right here.
this is when you ask the question. It's like,
I already know what she's saying.
yeah, but listen, but you have to evolve into
It's
the.
simple. If she says she don't believe in astrology,
Let her talk.
why would
Let her
she
talk,
say
though.
all her exes was Tauruses and they
Easy.
were assholes? That makes no sense.
Can I go next, real quick?
Okay,
Real
go.
quick.
Yeah, you
Real
can.
quick.
Easy.
For everyone that is watching this still, we're gonna play a drinking game. Every time Dave interrupts someone, y'all got to drink.
Drink and make sure.
I gotta go get a refill.
Make
I
sure
beat you
it's
to it.
vodka.
I beat everybody to it.
And
I
take
came
a
with the
smoke
gospel.
too.
Thanks.
I just
Take a
want to say,
smoke.
David, listen, before anybody else says anything, anything that anybody I believe, but at least for me personally, anything that I ever say or have said or will ever say on any future podcast with you, just know that I am not against you. I'm not making you
Know
feel. I'm
that.
not trying to make you feel some type
I
of way.
believe you.
I'm not trying to make you feel like you're wrong. I'm just always going to let you know my
I believe you.
opinion and never gonna say that you're wrong.
I'm glad
I
you
believe
got
you.
all of
To
this.
tell you my opinion. Just
Glad I
know
didn't
that
put too much in it.
you just know. Listen,
You're good. You're good, Yvette. You're good. You're good.
Listen, I love this. I love
When
this. I'm
you
having
get
a
the,
blast.
when you get the,
But just know that you can't get defensive with everything because not everything is against you. Just because it sounds like you can have your opinion, but at least wait for people to say what they gotta say before you go against it. Because know that it's not
that's
that
just
somebody's
who I am.
going
If I
against
point out
No, that's
illogical
okay.
stuff, I'm gonna point it.
Yeah.
If I hear illogical stuff, I'm gonna point it out. That's just who I am.
It's okay to believe something is illogical, but it's another thing to not let somebody talk because you don't agree with it.
Well, I
You gotta
think
let them talk.
I'm pretty sure this was
You can
more
go against it, that's
entertaining
fine, but
when-
let them talk.
when we
because
sit here and
you
talk
haven't
statically.
allowed them to express their
Sean,
thought before you.
Sean,
It's like
what's
you
up?
the
disagree.
viewers.
Like,
You see the back and forth me and the vet guy. This is what's gonna be entertaining to the viewers.
That's cool, but
anyway.
there's a thing called shouting people down, and
Yeah.
when someone's
Long as you
talking,
don't say no bad words.
yeah, it's not going to
Let
be
him
entertaining when
finish.
somebody
You
when
can't.
somebody wants to get their point across, and
Yeah.
you can't.
Well, we can give each other times. That's always good too. I like that.
We just gotta raise our hand. Look, can you raise your hand, David, from now on? That's a challenge.
Yeah, we
from
can do
my
that. But
challenge to
if
you.
we
All
raise
right,
our
nope,
hand,
you
can
already
somebody
failed.
interject?
You already failed. They're talking. You raise your
Wait,
hand, but
listen.
you're talking at the same time.
If we raise our hand, can somebody interject by raising their hand? That's the whole point you're trying to say?
No, that
If
means
you raise your
they'll
hand,
speak
somebody
next.
will know that.
Yeah.
That will
Wait a
know
minute,
to come back to you. Don't
no.
worry, you're not gonna be left out. If you
Realistically,
raise your hand, I promise. you will see it.
Realistically, Shaw, you need to actually time us. Realistically, because see, this is how I see it really is gonna go down. Somebody's gonna actually be talking a lot longer than somebody else, and then they're gonna complain. So to fix that, let everybody speak the same amount of time,
But that's-
2 minutes apiece.
That's you because you keep talking, so you can't
It's
have a
fine. Listen,
conversation with only
that's
one
what we gotta
person.
do from now on. Agreed? That way, you can't argue about who talks longer.
Fine. I've been raising
I'm
my
still
hand
waiting
the
to hear
whole
what
time.
Ray Shaw was about to say.
I forgot.
You
Okay.
cut him off, Dave.
I
And,
forgot.
and Michelle
That
want to
shit
say
was-
something.
That shit was weeks ago.
Yeah.
No, but
I'm just saying, like-
Rashad, do you have that? Okay, TikTok has where you can mute everybody, and then that one
No,
person.
nobody
can
needs
talk
to be
for like a
muted,
minute.
Michelle. We just
Well,
give each other a time.
But let
Listen.
her talk
Let
though.
me talk. TikTok has it where everybody is mute, and then that one person is speaking, and then he'll let everybody view their opinion after that. But one person, they got like you can time the person of what they have to say, and then Rashad.
I think it's more entertaining that everybody gets to
You
talk.
tried.
Do you not
almost
understand
made it.
that?
You almost made it. You almost made it. You
Yvette,
almost
calm
let
down.
people
Calm down,
go
Yvette.
talk.
I'm talking something serious. We need to have a timer. That way everybody has an equal time. Period. It'll be more
But how
organized.
can you time a
I
thought?
would consider it if I thought you would follow the time.
I will.
No,
I will. Just tell me the time.
Do they have it on there here? I hope they have it on there.
I gotta watch right here a timer on my phone. I can time everybody.
They might, but
Dave,
like I
put
said,
30 seconds on that.
nothing leads me to believe that Dave won't speak out of his time.
No, but on the mute,
I
he
requested
can't
that,
help.
so you can't complain that if somebody's over talking somebody.
It would
Michelle,
work.
go ahead because
It would work if you find that mute thing like they have on TikTok. I don't know if you dealt with that before, but it would work because he could be in the background talking, but you can't hear him. This person is.
Why would you want to have a podcast like this, Michelle? What kind of shit is that? We all friends. You want me to mute you if you have something that you want to say that's actually a little longer? That's ridiculous.
I'm getting mute, and I wait. I'm very respectful and try to make
Look,
sure.
we can just simply time 2 minutes apiece. It's cool.
can you time yourself?
Look, I'm gonna do it right now. Who wanna go? It's 2 minutes.
You go first.
You go ahead and do your 2 minutes.
You go first,
Okay.
and then we'll talk, and then
Can
we'll
y'all
go
see
from
the
there.
thing countdown?
You make it for 2
Yeah,
minutes.
we can
Yeah.
see the countdown.
I reset it.
All right.
2 minutes.
All right, 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes to talk, y'all. Go ahead.
Okay.
Who didn't get a chance to talk?
We're gonna let
Me?
David go first. Yeah,
Go,
you, Dave.
go ahead, Dave.
Okay, so here's my thing with just to let Yvette know since she don't know me, is I understand people in a certain way based on the context of what they're talking about. So if separate you and Phil had his agenda trying to actually have a correlation with astrology and science. There is no correlation. The stars alignment don't dictate people's personality. Okay, but that's what Phil was trying to do. But this is my thing with you. You actually brought up, my last, as an example, because I don't remember exactly which sign they were. I'm gonna just bring up the scenario hypothetically. You was like, well, my last 4 asshole boyfriends happen to be Cancers, and so I'm sitting there going, okay. if you don't agree and to believe in astrology has any correlation with a person's personality, why would you say that? In my mind, that's how I compute that. So now the only thing that I can get from that is that, okay, you said that, but somebody else coming in like last minute, hearing you just say that, which will mean to possibly to them that she thinks astrology has something to do with people's personality. So in my mind, I'll go, well, you know what? It's probably not even good to say that at all. Because if you don't believe it anyway, why would you even bring up your last asshole your last 4 boyfriends was assholes who happen to be cancers? That wouldn't make sense to even bring up. But it could confuse somebody else. So that was my only issue. I got 20 seconds. And so, let me put it on the thing. That's pretty much it. And then you said all the stuff that you said. I think you got me misunderstood, but yeah, that's it.
Good to go?
Next.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'm going to say, I'm not going to use the whole 2 minutes, but the first thing I'm going to say is that I think that you just spoke for almost 2 minutes just to fill up the time. But the second thing I'm going to say is that again, I'm going to say this for like the 30th time. Nobody or Philip, from my understanding, has said that astrology is real. Number 1 or number 2. Number 3 is that Philip, again, was trying to give you history on what is known of astrology. And me, I wasn't trying to connect astrology to my relationships. It just so happened that 4 relationships that I had that were Tauruses and a Cancer didn't work. And why? Because they let it be known. I didn't ask. I didn't care. And that's really all I have to say, because there's no argument. There's really nothing else to say about my relationships with 4 Taurus men and 1 Cancer. So,
Michelle, next.
Let me reset the timer.
You're still talking.
I'm resetting the timer.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
Don't be childish,
No,
Yvette.
that's it. I just
So-
wanted to mess with you.
What I gathered with I'm sorry, your name again, ma'am.
Yvette.
That's okay, Yvette.
Okay, so
Yvette Corvette.
what Dave said about why she said Tauruses, what I got of it was that she was saying several characteristics of a Taurus, not just that there are idiots. That is disrespectful in a sense that she probably had experiences that were good and that were bad in a sense. So it is a characteristic of a Taurus that is read in the book that it's in several other books that you could go and read and know that this is what Taurus characteristics are about. Instead of her saying that each one of them had that characteristics, but it's just like a short term of how she was saying her characteristics in a sense. That's what I got. That you could go back and go from there. If y'all understand what I mean.
And
It's
they
like-
weren't all assholes, by the way.
It's like a definition, you know.
Actually, none of them were.
Okay, so that's another thing. You jump to a conclusion. I don't jump to conclusions. I asked a question, and you should have said, "Were they all?" I mean, what do you mean by Taurus? Can you sum that up or something like that? Because you got that they were assholes, and I didn't get that. I got a certain characteristic of a Taurus. I sum this up.
Good.
Thank you, Michelle. And it's not because you're another woman, but
Yeah.
She said she good.
Okay.
Oh, you good?
Oscar,
Okay, let
go.
me stop the time.
You going short or you?
No, you go ahead, Oscar. I'm
Okay.
a,
Well,
All right, there you go.
Okay.
Go.
Your cousin said something that was really important, and this is one of the things you always do, Dave, that we always had this debate about. When she's not clear or somebody else is not clear, they answer a question. You get mad because they answer a question and think that it's a stupid question, but they're asking for clarification. If you didn't understand what she was saying, that's why when I jumped in and asked the question that I did, I answered that question not because I needed to know, but because that's the question you should ask and be like, okay, are you saying this is this? Instead of just jumping in and getting to the end, because your cousin said this too. You always go to the end and start assuming something else instead of going, wait a minute, let me address the point on hand. Get clarification by asking questions. It's not stupid to ask a question. It makes more sense to ask the question than to jump to the end and try to make your own conclusion. The person is sitting right here in front of you. So just ask them the question and go, hey, do you feel that is this what you actually saying or whatnot? Because this is the way I'm taking it. Even if somebody else can come in and misinterpret what she's saying, you answer the question for your clarification. That way you don't have to assume at the end and go, well, you saying this. No, I can answer you right here in front of me. The other thing that you do, you'll be disingenuous in an argument because you'll go to some extreme and we like, how did David get to that point from this or whatnot? So it messes up the argument because instead of staying on the point that somebody's talking about, you already got it in your head, assuming something else. Not to hate on you, we've been friends forever. You're a horrible listener because you don't actually listen to what they're actually saying. You automatically just assume something at the end. So you're already bringing up your argument about something they're not even saying. So it makes the conversation, it's hard to have a conversation with you a lot of times because you're not actually listening to what they're saying. You just, what's that term they're always saying? You just hearing to rebuke what they're saying, but you're not actually listening to what they're actually saying. Okay, I'm done.
And we're not attacking you. We just want you to understand that, please,
so it'll be better communication.
Great points. You got great points and everything. Just ask the question.
Yeah.
That way it'll
take
be
a turn.
better communication. I just had 2 more seconds. I just want to say
making me eat cookies.
Stop.
You can't go against it. You can't just go against everything.
You see how organized I am? All you got to do is challenge me. Didn't say shit when everybody had their 2 minutes. So you're next.
You admit this is the first time?
You're next. So it's simple. I'm going to still be the way. I know how I think. Based on,
I don't know why it's not
this is a response to you.
You could have did that without a timer.
This is a response to you.
Everybody else did it.
The way I think is the way I think. As long as I'm logical. It still don't make no sense to bring up that, let's say, I'm saying, I don't remember exactly what your boyfriends were to you. You said, I think you said they all was good to you. I thought they was all bad. Don't matter. But let's just say you said they was all bad and they was all Tauruses.
Why are you holding
There's
up
no
the
reason
phone?
for you to bring that up. That's just my thing because you will make somebody be misled. Okay, so anyway, Shar, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, look at me. I'm on the clock. Check it out. I don't like
get paid for it.
I don't like the clock. I do want this to be more of a free discussion.
Okay, we'll take it off then.
No, keep it going.
Respectful discussion.
Okay. Yeah, I do want this to be more of a free discussion instead of like a.
Okay,
hey,
I'll try not to butt in when I hear something that I think is illogical. I'll try to do that. Try best I can.
You almost made it.
You said you don't want the timer, so
I was using the timer to say what I want to say.
Wait, now you want the timer?
Yeah, I said keep the timer going. This is my 2 minutes. I'm using my 2 minutes to say that I don't like the timer.
Okay, go.
All right. So back on the clock. I'm saying I don't like the timer. I would like this to be more of a free discussion where there's back and forth. But with that said, when you can't shout people down, there's a difference between debating someone and just arguing with them. And I think you like to argue. So to the point where as soon as you hear someone say something, it triggers you. And I can see it in your face when someone brings up religion and when someone brings up science. Like if you don't agree with it, it automatically triggers you. And then you jump in and you don't let them finish. And it's fine to disagree with someone, or it's fine for them to be wrong and you be right, but let them finish their point. That way you can debate what they're saying instead of just arguing and yelling at each other. Because when 2 people are talking, no one's talking when we're doing a podcast, because it just comes over as static. We're incomprehensible stuff. Done. So, with that being said, I don't believe in astrology. I mean, just from the question that I asked Phil alone, you could kind of tell. But I wanted him to finish. And so I could dissect everything he said and then just attack it that way. But respectfully, because guess what? We're all homies. It can still be entertaining. But what type of entertainment are we trying to provide? Are we trying to provide some 90 Day Fiance, Real Housewives entertainment, or like some intellectual podcasting entertainment? So, I'm done. I yield my time.
Okay.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
And I'm not gonna go against you. I know we have a thing now.
David. I'm fine.
For moving forward.
I'm fine with everybody's opinion. I'm not trying to argue
with you.
Don't say that. Just go ahead with your point.
I just want to say that you've made it a point to say a few times throughout the podcast that you're just being logical. But remember, even Hitler thought he was logical. Okay? So you could be wrong and you just don't know it.
I'm not.
That's all I want to say. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying you could be wrong. I'm not trying to argue with you either, so don't come back at me. I'm just saying you can't say you're not wrong when you don't really know.
You saying I could be wrong in other stuff or our topic?
Opinion that even Hitler was wrong.
Wait, okay, let me ask you this question. You mean on the topic of astrology, I could be wrong? Is that what you mean?
Just in
All
general.
right.
I just said
before we go into even more in depth,
wait,
hold up. You know, hey,
I could be wrong on astrology.
Dave, we're running.
I'm empty.
We're running long.
I want to ask a simple question.
I'm running low on memory.
I could be wrong, then that's possible. But on astrology, I'm not.
Let me end the podcast because I'm running low on memory on this card. Okay. All right.
Maybe next
Go
time.
ahead.
All right.
We'll do better.
So,
go ahead. What?
Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all still with us, this was the Reflection Connection podcast.
If you gonna be on here again, I'm gonna be this way. This is just who I am.
Fuck it. We out. Peace.
Peace.
I'm just kidding.